What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and I am back from the bachelor party weekend. Not the greatest weekend, of course, when it came to the Dallas Cowboys, and I didn't cover all that, but one thing that is for certain that I'm very proud to come back to is, of course, Gametime. Bryan, Gametime, how's it going, sir? Welcome back to Primetime Studios, sir.
What's going on, everybody? What is going on? I'm excited and pumped for Week 3, the NFL schedule. We're going to break it all down, but I'm more in here. I love being with Primetime Phil. And what's up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome in. Welcome.
Yeah,
come one, come all.
We got JoJo Coyote. Coyote's driving, but I appreciate him coming through. Arturo, Jeff Lee. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, man? Dustin Bosley. Let's see. I don't want to miss everybody. It's going through. Rhonda, hey, sweetie. How's it going? How's it going?
Wow. Asman, what up?
Of course. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming through. As we talk about week 3. I mean, we've had already a kind of a roller coaster of events in the sense of a good week 1, a bad week 2. What's week 3 going to hold? That's the NFL. Surprise, the week-to-week league when it comes to it. You can get excited, you can get down on your I all by myself kind of situation. But here we go, week 3. As much as we're suffering, the Baltimore Ravens are, of course, 0-2, playing good football, but not, just not closing out those games. Could this be the week for them as we try to get back on pace and just at least get some good news going with the Dallas Cowboys name? So Gametime, how are you feeling? How was the past week? And, I've been seeing you pretty busy with your broadcast. You're kicking ass as always. And I'm glad that you have time to jump on here, man.
Well, that's the thing, man. I really feel I expect to be here but yeah, Bryan, you have a lot of echo on you, buddy. It can't be me, man.
No, I don't hear any echo on my side. Unless I got hold on. Let me try something. There we go. Try that. So go ahead, continue.
Check. Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Okay. All right. Here's the deal. Not a good week for the Cowboys, but I just find it funny, Phil, that we are held to a standard.
Oh, we are.
That not any other team is, and we keep hearing we haven't won nothing in 28 years, meaning any substantial games. But yet we're held to a standard that nobody else is. God forbid that, I have a video coming out 10 o'clock tonight. It'll be a premiere. Check it out. And I help break down what happened between game 1 and game 2. But basically, God forbid, Zimmer tries a little something. Okay, I was wrong about New Orleans. New Orleans is a hot team. Do I think New Orleans is going to be hot throughout the whole season? Absolutely not. But that doesn't matter. You play a team when they play them, and you hope that they're not hot when they play you. Okay, hence, we got the Ravens. Yep. They are not hot. I am also on board and saying, it's a scary team. But, again, we're scary as well. And I'll break it down how we win the game. But anyway, sorry. I'm just tired of all the negativity, Phil. It's way, way, way premature to write anybody off, especially after the road win in Cleveland. I'm sorry. That's a quality win, especially when Cleveland went around and won last week, people. They won last week. So, anyway, go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, their offense it's kind of the same way. Their offense is getting going in the sense of Cleveland. Of course, the Saints, man, when you really look at all they have, the weapons-wise, I mean, we can get cocky, we can get anything, but, we know the matchup that was there, and Dallas just did not perform when it comes to the matchup in the sense of, the one-on-ones, defense couldn't get any pressure. So there was a lot throughout that whole game. Of course, we did that 24 hours thing. We gone, really honestly, when you get a loss like that, it's more like a 48, 72 hour whole thing because you don't, by Wednesday, you're kind of still feeling that little like, oh man, that was a punch to the gut right there, man. Yeah, exactly.
What's up, Vin?
A
good win by your Mets.
So as we go into this one, man, obviously a better week 2 matchup, I think, just in the sense of a team that's not hot right now. Let's be real. I mean, the Saints come off and they're going hot. It's exactly what the Eagles are going to have to face is a hot team in the sense of the Saints. Philly's defense not doing as great in the sense. So, I mean, that's a bad combination, but you never know. Of course, the NFL week to week, all of a sudden the Eagles could shut them down. You just never know how these NFL matchups can go sometimes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, exactly, as man. Yeah, and we could talk about the Birds as well. I really want to hear Phil's response to the game.
I was not happy, man. I was on a jet ski. And
he was
enjoying myself.
Videos of him cutting up on a jet ski, so he was living large. Shout out to Phil, but
and so I could hear it in the background, and all of a sudden you could just hear the crowd just roar. And I was like, okay. I looked at my brother that was the bachelor, and we looked at each other. It's like, well, it's either a good thing or a really bad thing. And so by the time I would go over there, I would see they would be talking about Dak throwing an interception. I'm like, oh, okay, it was a bad thing. And
Vinny, you know the pick.
And so by the time I knew it, man, it was already they were up by 14 points. It was it was already catch up time, and that defense wasn't slowing anybody down. So. Overall, I thought it was just a terrible team loss. I didn't think it was the defense. I didn't think it was the offense. I thought it was overall. Everybody just played badly. The defense didn't complement the offense, and the offense didn't complement the defense. It was just really, really bad at setting each other up. And you can get those moments. You can see it in Dak's face where he starts to stare off, like he's just staring off. And
again,
he's going to pick. He's going to throw a pick, or it's something's happening.
There's something going on, and I haven't pinpointed it. And again, we need to see more. But there's something going on because our average per rush is not bad. It's well over 4 yards a rush. We're not sticking with it, but there's something going on with the run scheme itself. I don't know if it's Schottenheimer. I don't know if it's the offensive line coach.
I want to say it's the offensive line coach. I that's kind of where I point. Even though the offensive line is good, it's good. It's just the offensive line kind of. I don't know, man. There's just. I mean, when you got Zach Martin effing up, I mean, it says something.
What? Yeah, but with looking at I was checking it out on the NFL Plus, and you get to see we had good movement, in our interior. Okay, meaning,
oh man,
again,
the prostate doctor would be happy.
Cooper Beebe, Zach Martin, and Tyler Smith are arguably.
That guy was struggling at points.
That's going to be good, but I'm saying just that interior. Mm-hmm. Dak is getting time in that interior. There is room in the interior. I don't like the play calls, and I don't like the offensive line coach. I've been on that. I don't like to throw people under the bus, but it's early. But I'm thinking that may be an issue. But FYI,
when you don't throw people under the bus,
the ball guy.
When you don't throw people under the bus, people get quotes like, "I think we were just tired."
Yeah.
So you got to throw to people. Yeah, exactly. It's like, otherwise you need to be able to say that. I think that son of a bitch, like he skipped us.
But I can't. I mean, you know what I mean. I haven't pinpointed that aspect, but I do break down the defense, and I talk about the defense, but you'll see the big difference. But as we get into these picks later on, I got some juicy nuggets for any haters or anybody who thinks we're going to lose tomorrow. Well, we can lose. Of course we can. We're playing a desperate team. But so let's just finish up the Saints game. I know you weren't really did you watch any of it, Phil?
Hell yeah, I watched it. I had to go back and watch it again because I wanted to see what was sucking ass. I can understand why Phillips got put on injured reserve. He was just not playing well at all, and I would rather stick with him though than bring in Carlos Watkins. Carlos Watkins, I mean, I guess the coaching can use him differently, but nothing on nothing on like the film ever, you just wowed me. Oh man, he was able to sit in that spot and nobody moved him. No man, that guy was getting pushed wherever the hell they wanted to. That guy was a tool. So hopefully it's a tool that Zimmer can use and actually made him.
For us though.
I was
not a one-to.
I just think because of the other people that were around him. I think our linebackers weren't great at the time.
He played pretty good for us. Again, at this point, you're not going to get. You're just trying to put
I am. Of course, I am.
Just put a Band-Aid over it.
Oh, okay. I want an All-Pro, but Obviously, you're not going to get that right now. Maybe this next off season that's a big something that you can possibly get, but right now you're not going to get anything. And as people go down in your reserves,
the Ravens are 0-2. The Ravens aren't playing well. Okay, I know they're a wounded team, but so are we. I'd rather lose by. I was trying to calm everybody down, especially the Eagle fans. Not necessarily the ones in here, but certain Eagle fans. Oh my God, you gave up a 40 burger. Okay, it's a loss. Is a loss. Is a loss.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, would I rather lose by 1 or by 25? Give me the 25-point loss. Why? Because they're getting embarrassed all week. Word out of the Star, and this comes from multiple people, that the best week of practice they've had in a long time. They're not happy. They're foaming at the mouth to get back at it, to shut people up, because they got no credit for week 1, albeit against a couple replacement linemen. And now they're playing a Baltimore Ravens team who has not played good for 2 weeks, and yet everybody's threatening about how much Derrick Henry's going to run down our, necks. He hasn't had a 100-yard game in either week. He's looked average at best. I understand what you guys are saying, but I feel like the key to victory for the Cowboys, it always will be for the time being, is scoring points. And the Ravens are last in the league against the pass, 32 out of 32. Like, everybody's dying to run against the Eagles. People are throwing against the Ravens. They're last. Why? Because they're not good against the pass. Different scheme. They're going with a different coordinator. It's a little different. So I like what we're going to do, and we'll break it down later. But
no, we can keep on, man. Go ahead. Let's talk about this.
I just feel like, the Ravens are dead last. Like, they give up 257 yards against the pass, albeit through 2 weeks. But you're holding the Dallas Cowboys to a standard, but yet you don't want to hold the Ravens to a standard. Just happy to be alive, still watching football. Bobby, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, Bobby, I appreciate that. Here we go.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Sonic Boom!
So my dog is wigging out over there. But we'll see. Again, we got to worry about our own house. We can't worry about what's going down in New Orleans. Unfortunately, that'll happen at 1:00. So, we will have known the outcome, but Dallas ain't sitting around worried about the Eagles in game 3 of the season. This division is going to stay close for for weeks to come, people. So everybody's going to get bent out of shape. But I think we need to win.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I can see a lot of stuff that can go. I think that the negative that I jump on is obviously the run game. We did very well against a mobile quarterback in week 1. I think we got pieces like Micah Parsons, Overshown, that can kind of eliminate that a little bit. But Lamar is a different level. The possible weakness that he could have is he just doesn't trust his receivers. And, with our corners and stuff, maybe that's a good thing going into this matchup. But after kind of getting really just ran all over by Kamara, I had him in my fantasy. I was going to take him out. I was like, no, he'll score at least 2 touchdowns against us.
Yeah, right.
And he 4 touchdowns, 180. So to me, yes, Derrick Henry hasn't gotten going, but I think it's because they haven't trusted him enough. How many carries has he really had in those first 2 games? It doesn't feel like a whole lot. I mean, yes, and in that first game there probably was. I don't feel like in that second game, but it just feels like Lamar is running more, and anybody that's his running back it's going to have a disadvantage because he's running back 1 and you're running back 2, even though it's a big ass guy like Derrick Henry.
How did we do week 1 against? I know they didn't have the Derrick Henry, but like I said, Derrick Henry isn't what he used to be. We were able to shut down Deshaun Watson from running. How many times did they call actual run plays? And I break down why, but basically, I'll just give you a little nugget. We ran a 3-4 defense week 1. We ran a nickel 3-4, which is what this team's going to have to do for the foreseeable future. Last week, they tried to run a traditional 4-3 without sub-packaging when they brought in different packages. Zimmer was stubborn and did not a change. He wanted to see what he had, and you saw the result. Week 1, I repeat, week 1, they ran nickel 89% of the time, which is a 3-4, 3 down linemen with 4 linebackers. And we held them in check and then some. I get it. They didn't have a Derrick Henry. Week 2, we ran the exact opposite, 89% traditional 4-3, which is only 3 linebackers. And we got blown off the ball by 5 and 6 yards against a team who came in ready to pound the ball. It's an easy fix, people. And again, that's not to say that you're not going to give up run yards, but there's no way in heck that Lamar Jackson, I know he's the reigning MVP, but we all know that's because of his legs. Okay, when you have a guy spying him, which they pretty much he came out and said there will be a spy. It'll be Micah, and it'll be Overshown.
Yep. See, that makes sense. See, I hadn't heard anything, and that to me made the most sense of those 2 guys.
So just remember, nickel, yes. Nickel defense, that's the key. That's what they're going to run. If not, then we will get blown out again. If we run a nickel like we did week 1, it'll be a close game. You're still going to have some success because they're big up front. But again, they don't have the weapons that the Saints has on the outside. They do not. And you can say whatever you want about Derek Carr. I got the stats here. Derek Carr is 3rd in the league with 4th quarter comebacks at 34. Everybody thinks Derek Carr stinks. I mean, over the last 10 games, he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the whole NFL.
Yeah, he's probably in that. He's probably in that. He's definitely in that above average, but below elite. It's like right in that mid 80%. Where they kind of try to shove Dak a little bit.
Penn State. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting on the chat. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that Zimmer was in his own head last week, and he was stubborn, and it ain't gonna happen this week. And if it does, we'll lose. We'll get blowed out. But I was surprised when I heard those numbers, Phil.
Yeah, knowing him though,
really,
he always tries
surprised.
to make those adjustments. You have some really good talent that can run the ball. I see that could be the weakness. We played really well week 1. It's just that's the part. It's like that Arizona game. I didn't see Arizona last year where I was like, okay, Arizona, we can definitely take care of them. If we stick to trying to just take care of the run, and then look what ended up happening. I mean, of course, that's a whole different defensive coordinator ago. But I do like the fact that we got guys in there. As much as now we're not going to have Phillips, but we got Joseph and all those. Those are just bigger guys than we had last year. Even though they're performing extremely well. Yeah. I like the fact that we got bigger bodies.
I
and
think
the
they're
potential.
going to move Osa in, to play some D tackle. I think you saw some Marshawn Nealon. They brought up a Carl Lawson, who's not as much as a pass rusher as he is just a run stuffer. He's going to help with the run. Again, it's a tough task, but I'd rather play a team like Baltimore than a team like New Orleans that could beat you to the outside. I don't think Derrick Henry's getting to the outside too often against you with our linebackers. I'm not saying he can't.
No. He's just a lot slower.
Right at you.
Yeah, he's a lot slower, but he's just a bigger body.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's going to be a tough chore, but the fact that we got blown out is only going to help our team. I believe they're going to come out to try to improve. A lot of people and all the naysayers and all the crap on ESPN, the 3 and 4 letter networks, they're out for blood. And supposedly their practices have really been good this week. So again, maybe they're saying all the right things, but I expect a good performance tomorrow to get back in the winning column. We'll break it down. The answer is in the mailbox. We need to get our act together. It's funny, I have the record where it was, but I haven't had the Cowboys right either week. It's so hard to pick these games early on.
I've had them wrong both times. I've had it wrong both times. I think either one of us.
I
will
agree,
be
Vinny.
First week I was amazing at picking. The second week I sucked at it. Like it was so many upsets for me that ended up happening. But hey, do you want to go through and see how it is before we start breaking down our game?
Yeah, sure. If that's what you want to do, I'll
bring
up the Yeah, I will do that then. I will do that. All right, let's start out with 1 o'clock game, everybody. You got the Steelers hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. The Steelers are a 2.5 point favorite. 2.5 point favorite.
Okay, let me see what I have here on my pick'ems. Because I've been kind of going back to that, and that's how I've been making my choices on here because I don't want to like counter myself. So on this one, even though Pittsburgh, I think, has been playing pretty good, really good defense. Somehow I'm not giving it because of the head coach. I'm not giving it because of the offensive, any of that. I just had this feeling that the Chargers are going to be able to pull out this victory, and then somehow get behind the hype of hardball coming back to the NFL and playing really, really well. So unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't have too much of a feel for this, but give me the home team here. It's a field goal wins you. Not that we're using the points, but give me the home team here. Now I don't know. I think Russell Wilson may be playing, so that might be bad news. But I just feel like I know that the Chargers quarterback is questionable. I expect him to play. They're going to try and run the ball. We shall see. I think it's a little too much for the Chargers. I think the Steelers get the dub. But again, what's the chat? I want to hear every time we do a game. I want to see what you guys think. So put your pick in the chat. So do you guys like the Chargers this week or the Steelers? You going to go with Primetime or Game Time? But moving along, Phil, we got the Colts, the next 1 o'clock game. The Colts are hosting the Bears. The Colts are a 1 to 1.5 point favorite at home against Chicago, who hasn't thrown an offensive touchdown, I don't believe. I don't think the quarterback is. Maybe. I don't think he has. I don't know, but they're not looking great. Your opinion there, Phil?
What, you talking about the Bears not looking great?
Yeah. Are you okay?
I'm not. No. I'm like trying to highlight these people's picks and stuff as you're talking. And stuff
I thought there was something with the broadcast.
No. I'm just. I'm just trying to
I'll do
highlight
it. This is a tough one. Give me the home team. I would say the Colts. I think the Colts are. Let me look at it. The Colts are 0-2. Chicago is 1-1.
Yeah, but Chicago. The reason why they won that was the defense, special teams. Oh yeah, it's just they did old Chicago way. Where the Devin Hester old times, where the defense would bail him out and stuff, and you can just see it. He's not taking anybody's advice. I would go with the Colts on this one. I think the only way the Colts lose this one is if their quarterbacks start throwing pick sixes and so that gets obviously the Bears back into it.
He threw a pass last week. Oh my God, it was so incredible. He threw a pass last week, without his weight behind him.
Oh, you're talking about 70 yards? Yeah, that was amazing, and he still had. It felt like he still had some hump, like in there.
That was incredible. Yeah. He is so talented. So yeah. I mean, give me the home team. That's how I look at it. So
nice.
So we
agree on that one
as well. Okay. Yeah. Week 3 matchup. You got the Vikings. Vikings are a 1.5 point underdog at home against the Houston Texans. Will Sam Darnold do it again? Primetime. Sam Darnold battled the 2-0 team.
Here's the thing: if he does, Sam Darnold will be able to again prove what? I'm not really sure. The Vikings, I give them credit just in the sense that I kind of wrote them off, even with their rookie quarterback. Well, what was I really expecting from the rookie quarterback? But Donald, he's been able to come in here, push that offense. I think he's more of a Brad Johnson type of situation where he's just that manager. But that's what you kind of need in this situation. To me, I think there's just more. I don't know. It's kind of like the greatest show on turf a little bit. Me. Hold on, a little bit of the greatest show on turf when it comes to the Texans. I think there's a lot on that offense. And so I think that the Houston Texans are going to win this one. And I think maybe by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. It really is. Mixon is out. So I wonder who the backup for the Texans, but I feel like Danielle Hunter is going to want to exact some revenge. I think that this is one of those games where we could be wrong. I'm also going to go with the Texans, but something's telling me the Vikings are somehow, because I crapped on them and said they're going to be horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
They're somehow going to be 3-0.
Donald's been proving us wrong a little bit, and sometimes those quarterbacks.
Jefferson.
He's got that Cooper Rush going.
You know what?
Where the defense is kind of keeping him in games, and he's winning
CJ
it.
Stroud. This is good. This is going to be a harder game than I think. Man, that's a tough one, because as of right, I'm doing my pigskin pick'em as we speak, and I just did it real quick. When I first got the email on my phone. Now I'm thinking.
I think Chicago's defense
out.
is a little bit tougher than Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Texans and just go from there. We're just going to stick with the original. You think they're going to CZ Aaron Jones is going to run all over the Texans? I know, man. You got me. I'm going to stick with the Texans and unfortunately the East Side Herald. So we're going to leave that. Moving along, we'll go to the Cleveland Browns. -6.5 hosting the New York Football Giants.
Let's see, where do I have this one? There it is. So I see Houston getting back, continuing their role. Not Houston, sorry, Cleveland. I might as well say it because of Deshaun Watson. That's kind of the little transition that I had in my head. But the Browns, I think their defense again, it's a lot better than people give them credit for. And now you're facing an offense that's really struggling in the sense of the New York Giants. So I think those two colliding right there can just be a big struggle in New York themselves. And then when you look on the other side of the ball, Cleveland still needs to figure out their shit. But I think New York is a little bit more in that they got weapons and they can really kind of give you a headache. So I think this might be a lower scoring game than people may realize. But I think either way, Cleveland will pull it off in the end.
Yeah, this is another tough one, man. This is a tough one. This is a game where I kind of think. Like I want to take the Viking. I kind of think everybody's crapping on the Giants, and you would think this is an easy one.
I like it crapping on the Giants.
And I think that Giants are going to drop to 0-3, huh? Let's see here. They got Devin
They're trying to fight for that
Singletary.
first pick of the draft, but they're gonna mess up because
I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns here. As much as I would like to take the Giants, I think that Minnesota has a better chance of winning versus Houston have going into Cleveland. Unfortunately, we got to go with the Browns. Chris May, Giants are poop. I like it. So yes, let's see all those predictions in the chat, peeps. Just to see what you guys are thinking. Most everybody wants the rooting for the pick Browns. I see JJ with the Giants. Interesting. All right, moving along. We will we'll leave the Eagles for the last 1 o'clock. How's that? Nice. Let's move to the Titans 3 at home against the Packers. Titans -3 against the Packers.
I didn't give
2 versus 1-1.
I didn't give Green Bay enough credit last week. I think it was just because their quarterback. I don't expect him to come out here and just destroy him. But I think Tennessee is a little bit worse for wear than them. Really, when you look at it, man, looking from the outside, they got a running game and that's really good. But unless you have something to complement that in the sense of the passing game, you're not going to go anywhere. And I think that's where Tennessee's kind of on the trajectory like that. At least Green Bay has a defense and a team around the quarterback that can at least, support him enough to get through this victory in those couple of weeks. So I'm going to go Green Bay with this matchup.
Funny you say that. I am going to go with Bo Callahan, a.k.a. Will Levis. I think TP, Tony Pollard, has a big game against Green Bay.
I'll put him on my fantasy. I'll remember that.
I think Tennessee gets off the schneid, gets their first win. I just think that they've been snake bit a little bit over the first 2 weeks. Give me the Titans at home. Give me Tennessee at home to bust up the Green Bay Packers and Sledhead's squad. So, yeah, give me the Titans in that running game. Exactly, Rhonda Lovely. Exactly. Okay, it looks like we are moving on to the Buccaneers minus 6.5. Buccaneers minus 6.5 against the Broncos. Phil's Bo Nix from his alma mater is starting quarterback in Denver.
I think if you're betting, you go Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay has a way better team in general, but my pick of the week is going to go with Bo Nix and that Denver Bronco offense. And I think Denver pulls this off and is able to get their first victory of the season. And Tampa Bay gets their first loss just because I think this is what Tampa Bay is. I mean, as much as these look good, at times when you think they're expected to win, that's when they don't show up sometimes. And I'm thinking that's going to be the case this time.
Callahan. Yeah. I hear what you're saying, man. I hear what you're saying. 97% of the people are picking Tampa. Tampa's 2-0. Denver's 0-2. But I agree with you. As weird as that sounds, I like Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. More importantly, I like. I don't know. Do I like it?
Do I like it? Yeah,
this is a tough game.
Yeah, if I was going to really bet on this one, I would go Tampa Bay. But it just, hey, my opinion doesn't really get anything, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is hard. Give me yeah, I know you're the alma mater. Yeah, come on, you're sticking up for your boy. I get it, but this is a tough one. I could see Denver winning this. I'm not picking them on here though. I'm not. Stay away from the game, people. I think that
this is nasty. I can't even pick this one right now.
This is a nasty game. I actually think that I think the Bucs are on to something. I just think they're a hot football team. So they went into. Then again, they go into Detroit, right? It's not a divisional game, but they go on into Detroit. Nobody had them winning in Detroit, and they went into Detroit and won. Maybe this is a letdown game,
Yeah,
that's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a tough
week-to-week
NFL
game
league to pick.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna take the home team. I kind of hope they lose, so they're pissed to play. I kind of hope they lose, so next week they're mad when they go up against the Birds. So I don't know. I guess I'll go with Tampa. So whatever. All right, let's go with the Birds. The Birds are the last of the 1 o'clock games. The Saints are a minus 2.5 points favorite. Eagles were a 6.5 point favorites just a couple weeks ago. That's crazy.
What game are you going?
The Saints are minus 2.5 versus the Eagles.
I've been picking Eagles for the past 2 weeks. Unfortunately, just because of how the Saints have been playing, man, this is one of those games where, I could see the Eagles getting really, just lucky in the sense of sometimes the Saints play well, sometimes they play great. They're playing amazingly right now, and they're where they could have their slump. Unfortunately, I think the Saints right now are on fire, and it has to do with a lot of the weapons they have. They have a lot of weapons on the outside. They have a lot of weapons on the inside. They have a quarterback that's playing really well and very confident in their coaching. Coaching is doing really, really well. They're not afraid to take shots to kind of keep your defense honest. So I got to go Saints on here just because I think that's just a little bit too much for that defense and especially but this offense can match it. It's just that Saints defense has been playing really well too. So you really got to bring it as an Eagle player just to be able to get into this game. So, but I got to go Saints on this one. And that's who I picked.
Yeah, Arturo. Yeah, I have like where I'm at. I have all the casinos in front of me. It opened at 3. The Bet 365. It's the Saints minus 2.5. Saints -3, Saints -2.5, Saints -2.5. Most of them are Saints -2.5. DraftKings has it Saints -3, so 2.5, 3, whatever. Give me the Saints, people. Obviously we just watched the Saints double moonwalk all over our butts. I have no faith in this trash coach as a vampire, Bobby. I love it. I think it's actually going to be closer, Bobby. I think he might be happy. Like I told Leo in Mark's chat, I think that I expect the Eagles. If not, I would worry, Bobby. I expect them to come out physical, at least in the, and I expect Jalen Carter to impose his will early to try and redeem. If that doesn't happen, though.
Yeah. There's a recipe there for them to win. I think there is there. It's like your defense
There is a recipe for the Eagles to win, but I don't think they can without A.J. Brown. If they had A.J. Brown, I would be picking the Eagles. Yes. They're hearing it just like Dallas is hearing it. They are. It could go either way, but listen, we just got done seeing what the Saints could do. And no offense, I think Dallas' secondary is better than the Eagles' secondary. So it'll be interesting. It's just a bad matchup. I don't know what's going on with the Eagles' run defense. They have a lot of talent there, at least more talent than we have, I would think, up front. Yet they're giving up 6.4 yards a carry, Phil. Yeah. They're worse than the league. So, again, I don't know how you're going to stop Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams. I don't know. But I do see a potential of Jalen Carter just going off and wrecking the game inside. I still don't think it's going to be enough to win the game, but I think it's closer than people think. But give me the Saints. I know I did. I said that, but I'm thinking that they're going to come out and throw a punch early on the Eagles. We'll see. If not, Drew, I would be worried. If Jalen Carter doesn't have a good game this week and he's not on the stat board,
oh man,
that would be an issue because he's a given that you're expecting him to be the stud, and you're hoping that Jordan Davis can just be good enough to complement him. If Jalen Carter is nowhere to be found, that's a problem. And he didn't handle the media well all week. He kind of shied away. He was pouting a little bit, didn't want to answer the questions. It's not good right now in South Philly. So they need a good showing. So we'll see. But my pick, again, is the Saints. So you good, Phil?
Yeah, good. Just looking at the comments as they're coming through.
Okay. Moving along to the 405 game. Well, there's a couple 405 games. The Raiders. The autumn wind is a Raider. Is a pirate. Oh, the Raiders -6. Versus the lowly Panthers.
Can you go into any situation and think that the Panthers are going to win this? Now, they did change quarterback, right? They're benching their other guy, Young.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he is used to it. In Cincinnati, he definitely had an offensive line where he had to kind of just throw it by the end of it, just kind of like
is a pirate.
praying and then throwing, anticipating. So at least you got that veteran there. So I think they can definitely do some shit. I just think the Raiders are a little bit better. Their offense, I'm not saying is better, but they have a little bit more weapons. So I'm going to go Raiders on this, but I'm not even guaranteeing on that one. I don't feel great about that.
Yeah, I think the Raiders win. I think the Panthers are just a dreadful team. Again, Andy Dalton, nothing against him, but he's seen better days. I mean, can they have the spark? Yeah, and they may be closer than maybe what we think, or maybe what the line says. Maybe it's a field goal game. I don't know. Give me the Raiders. Yeah, that's
Joe says bet the house on this one. Raiders +14.
Yeah. All right, moving along. I love this next game. I don't know why the line is what it is, but we'll talk about it. Seattle Seahawks -4.5 versus the Miami Dolphins. Benito Miami. Now, who's quarterbacking the Dolphins? Who is their starter now?
They are still going with Skylar Thompson. They believe in Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson is the next time. I mean, here's the thing. Like when McDaniels talks,
named Skylar.
No. I definitely wouldn't follow this guy into battle, Skylar. When you look
the
at
last Skylar I know we had Bill Parcells drafted him. Remember Skyler? Put it in the chat, people. What was his name? Skyler. And then he sucked.
So Miami, I don't know, man. They did bring in a
name.
veteran. I know. Oh man, I cannot think of the veteran's name. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. But
What's
again, with McDaniels, he really talks a big game when it comes to these quarterbacks. I think he's just a supporting coach. He can't really truly believe this stuff about Tua and of course the backup quarterback. Oh, we really believe in him and this offense stuff. And as soon as you put him in there and he's not moving the ball, that says a lot. You got weapons in this team, and soon as Tua gets hurt, this offense goes to shit. And I'm not saying that Tua is that great, but the fact that your next level down is that bad. You got great weapons there. You should be able to throw 5 freaking yards, get your guys the ball, and let them go crazy. I mean, it doesn't have to be big developing plays. I think that's what the problem is. So unfortunately, until they change that, I got to go with the more veterans lineup, and that's going to be the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They have so much talent on offense.
They do, man. They do have talent.
They do, man. I don't. Dolphins are 1-1. Seahawks are 2-0. I think Seahawks go to 3-0. Yeah, I think if a Tua was playing them, but I'm not picking Skylar Thompson. I'm just not. So that's not happening. Seattle takes it at home. The 12th man is too much for the team from South Beach. Moving along, the 425 action. The Arizona Cardinals plus a field goal, +3 versus the Lions. Lions take it on a chin at home against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tough game, man. What are you looking at, Phil? What do you feel?
I think this becomes a tougher game just because Detroit's coming in here with just looking crappy from last week, and Arizona, even though their offense is looking really, really good. You got little Kyler Murray looking like I don't know, man. He looks like that Madden little.
They should be 2-0
series where he's running around like a little bitty kid, and I don't think you can do that forever. But I could be wrong. I can't play backyard football for the whole time. It's just something's going to happen, and something wrong is going to happen. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I think they get back on track, even though it's on the road. I think they, setting themselves up in the sense of not having to, play in front of people and do well. I think that kind of pressure is kind of is going to be bad for them. So being on the road, I think is going to be beneficial for them. And I think the Lions somehow pull off this victory.
And I could definitely see that, but my initial pick was the Cardinals because I think right now Detroit is just not firing for whatever reason. I don't know the answer. I'm not that close to the situation, but what I am seeing Arizona Cardinals play, they should be 2-0. They literally had a 28 Bills. They were killing the Bills.
Yep.
They let off and didn't score 1 point. And lost by a field goal, I believe, in Buffalo. So,
yep, you froze, I think. Hello. So, guys, can you hear me okay?
Those are on a mission.
There we go.
I think this is, what's that?
No, you just froze there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me. It may be me. Yeah, I think I'm having issues. So, but yeah, give me the Cardinals. I can see Detroit winning, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah,
I think
I'm going to
that
stick
is
with.
Gonna be a tough matchup. I'm going Lions just because. Again, I think there's a lot of weapons.
They're the better team, right?
They're the better team. Yeah. I think they are.
Yeah. But anyway, moving along. It's a very tough week. Detroit back, says Drew. Nice. We'll skip over the Cowboy game. We'll go right to the Ram game. Rams +6.5 versus the 49ers. 49ers without George Kittle, without Debo, without Christian McCaffrey, without
and the Rams are without Cup and without Puka Nacua, and so I mean, these two teams are pretty much stripped, and the fact that this is a division game, I think those are always those what ifs. I still got to go San Francisco on this one. I think, again, I'm going to go better team. We've seen in the past, though, the Rams really kind of handle their business when it comes to this matchup. So don't be surprised if the Rams really come out and start dominating San Francisco, because that's the team that usually does it. But I got to go 49ers with this one, just because I think core-wise, when it comes to defensive line, offensive line, they're just a better matchup.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know why I'm doing it, but the Rams always play the 49ers tough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to see Sean McVay, be 0-3. I like Matt Stafford. I would definitely take the points in this scenario, take the 6.5, and I think it's a field goal game. So that being said, I don't know how the Rams are going to win with Nakua and Cooper Kupp out. I just don't.
Well, I mean, that's the way they found Nakua.
In a close game.
That's how they found Puka, was having Kupp out, and they found Puka, and then they tend to find that guy, and then they just start feeding him the ball like crazy. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden they find their other gem in here.
Unfortunately, I got to go 49ers. My original pick was the Rams, but once we lost Kupp and now Nakua's out, I think they're in a tough spot. I think you got to go 49ers, and I think we're all rooting for the Rams. But I think you got to go 49ers there. So that's just me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But all right, moving along, that takes us to the Sunday night game. The Sunday night game, which is the Falcons +3 against the Chiefs.
Oh man, how can you not pick against the how can you pick against the Chiefs, right? I got to go Chiefs on this one. Just even though, again, I think Atlanta is a better team, and it's just their schedules I think is really tough. This is a Chiefs team that is playing hot, and even their depth is playing really, really good. So I got to go Chiefs on this one until somebody starts to slow them down, or injuries, or themselves, right?
Yeah, I believe. I don't think the Falcons are that great. Again, that's also guys. I'm not trying to troll, but I don't think the Falcons are that great. I think they can be good, but I think this is where the Chiefs are on a mission, it seems like. Now, there is no Pacheco, but you're going to have Taylor Swift probably there in the box, right? She'll probably be there. He's shaking it off. So give me the Chiefs. I don't
she'll
know.
Be in hot Atlanta. I don't know if she'll be there.
So you tell me Kirk Cousins is going to win back-to-back primetime games?
No. I don't think I'm not picking Atlanta at all. I'm just saying that I don't think Taylor Swift is going to be there. If you had to bet money on that one, so you're going to go to hot Atlanta because they're in Atlanta.
I just don't think they're that good, Drew. I mean, Atlanta lost week 1. They didn't really look great. Again, I didn't think they played great last week up until the last drive. If you think about it, I love Bijan. I don't think their defense is great. I mean, you have some offensive weapons, yes. Just not a big Kirk Cousins guy. He had a good drive against the Eagles to win, but that doesn't mean it. I will take Kansas City. Definitely take Kansas City. But that has nothing to do with the Cowboys, Drew. That's the thing. Nobody brought up the Cowboys. I'm just saying. I think Kansas City goes in there and wins by 10. I don't think the Kirk Cousins is 3-11 on primetime, and he won last week. He ain't winning back-to-back primetime. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. And then there's 2 Monday night games.
Let's go for it.
But did you just want to wait, or since we do our recap show on Monday, or now let's talk about it now, I guess.
Yeah.
Bills -5 against the Jags at home. Bills are at home -5.5 against Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got to go Buffalo on this one. Jags, I think, again, until they gotta really be firing on all cylinders to kind of be that favorite. in each matchup, especially with the teams that are up there in those playoff hopes and going to the to contend for the Super Bowl. When they start to go against those teams, that's when they really need to be on their game. And there's nothing about their game that's shown me that they're going to be able to stay in this matchup, other than if Buffalo does Buffalo shit. You know how Buffalo stabs himself in the foot.
Yes.
And it takes Allen kind of just running around by the third quarter to kind of get them going, and then by the fourth quarter they're winning by 20-something points. This is what kind of matchup this can be if that happens, but I think Buffalo runs away with this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll give me the Bills. Bills were on the ropes week 1, and they screwed up, and Arizona let them win, or basically it called off the dogs, and they lost the game. Buffalo is just running the heck out of the football. Josh Allen's only thrown the ball 28 times through 2 weeks. It seems like the teams that are having success early in the year are not throwing the ball. So run, and I think that's a good way. And I think Josh Allen's tough. I just do. I mean, he gets a lot of crap, but all he does is win. So give me Buffalo. And then, that was the
First,
wait, 9:23.
that was a 7:30 game Eastern.
Yeah.
And then the other one's 8:15.
I was confused because they put the Jets, Pats at the bottom. Okay, then the Monday night game looks like 7.5 points. So the Bengals are a 7.5 point favorite, hosting the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I would put my money on there. I think Commanders, just because of the matchup against the Giants, they're just a weaker opponent. You're going into as the weaker opponent. I think they can hang in it just because, let's be real, I mean, the Bengals defense isn't like what they used to be. So I think when the Bengals win it, it's just going to be barely a touchdown, maybe by the end, maybe 10 points. But I definitely think that they can win. Just because, again, Washington is a young team still trying to find their way.
I agree with you, man. I definitely agree. So it has brought us to the time, Phil. The time has come, my man, for the game.
Yeah,
Dallas, it went similar to the Eagle game, Phil. Similar to the Eagle game where the Birds were a 6.5 point favorite just a couple weeks ago. Now they are the underdog. Same thing with the Dallas.
Uh-oh, it froze again. Let's see what happens. Give him a second. Come on back. There he is. What'd you say now? So you were talking about their matchup.
Oh, it's that bad.
All right. He froze again.
That's weird. +1. Dallas are +1 versus the Ravens. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's all good, man. I guess it's about that time. It's like you're in there. It's like, Dallas, it's about my bedtime, man.
I guess Dallas plus.
So, anyways, as you go into this matchup, man, both teams need a victory. I know you can't. You can say in the beginning of the season that no win is a must-win situation and everything, but statistically, I mean, teams that are 0-3 don't make it into deep into the postseason. So the Ravens, I think, are a team that even if they were to go that way, I wouldn't count them out at all. So and we have a long season. There's a long schedule. I think you're going good because I can see you're moving and stuff. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm good. So who are you going with? The Ravens?
I, unfortunately, am going to go again. I'm going to continue with this gut feeling thing, even though I'm terribly wrong. And that was earlier in the week. I want to give some reasons. So I want to try this. And if you don't mind, I'm going to give you, of course, reasons Dallas Cowboys can win this matchup. Okay, and then I'll give you ones that will lose, and then I'll give you mine as well. So sorry about this as I draw this out a little bit. How can they win?
No, I don't care.
I think this defense definitely has the recipe. He doesn't trust his wide receivers. Your corners can definitely match up very well. Another week goes by as Bland at least starts stretching out and getting back onto the field. This defense needs to step up. They were insulted last week. They've shown really good stuff so far against mobile quarterbacks. So I do like that matchup. Again, Lamar Jackson is a different caliber of quarterback when it comes to running. So I do find that he can get some success. But if they can corral him and keep that spy on him, I think they can definitely shut this offense up. And it's just Henry by that point, and he can do some damage. But I do like the fact that his speed isn't tremendous and our linebackers can get there. They're going to need some help, but I definitely think that they can get there. Offensively, I think this team can get back on track. This is the defense to do it against. It's a good defense, but it's not an outstanding defense, and I think you can definitely attack it, especially up the middle. With you're getting your tight end back. There's Lamb. I think Lamb and Dak can definitely get an early connection. You'll see Cooks get involved. So I think they can really attack. But when it comes down to it, this is the reason why I think the Dallas Cowboys will end up losing this game. This is what am I picking. I think Dallas loses this game just because I think the Ravens are desperate. They're a desperate team, and you know what desperate teams come out. They really get ready to fire, and if Dallas isn't ready, they can get out-muscled very, very quickly and be behind the chains. So I don't like that whole matchup just because of the run game. I think our weakness on the defense right now, as we put guys on injured reserves, that doesn't make any sense. We're bringing in Carlos Watkins. I want Zimmer to get back on his recipe. I know he did things differently last week. As I watched that defense, it wasn't the same. There's different formations? Well, I need you to get back to the basics and get this shit going. I just don't like how our defense played in general, and I do like the fact that in the past years they've been really, really well about coming back and kicking ass the next following week. But I got to go again with my shit and say that I think Dallas loses this one like 24-14. Just can't get that going again, and it just gives us doubts. But again, I'm hoping that they shut me up for another week, and if this is the case, then don't be surprised. I'm picking Dallas to lose the rest of the season. So,
all right. Well, that's a tough. Listen, I could see the Ravens winning the game. Sure, I can. Ravens. Here's the difference, and I agree. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my picks for this pigskin pick'em because there's a lot of 0-2 teams that you always like to go with those 0-2 desperate teams. You know what I mean? A lot of these teams are put in tough spots. Baltimore. The fact of the matter is, Baltimore is last against the pass. That's just a fact. They're not good against stopping the pass for whatever reason. There's a new defensive coordinator in Buffalo. So I would like to think that Dallas is going to attack them via the pass. That's my idea of how to win the game. You're not going to run the ball consistently against the Ravens. You're just not. So, again, attack them at their weakness. We're getting Jake Ferguson back. John Stevens Jr. is going to have his NFL debut. We know him all too well. Attack the seams where they're vulnerable is they have shorter, more physical linebackers that aren't great in coverage over the linebackers in that zone area where they like to play. If I'm Baltimore, they're not going to do this because Baltimore does what they do, Phil. They do what they do.
They should do something else, but they F up and they do something else. You're right.
I would play dime. I would say, you're not passing the ball on us. Go ahead and try and run the ball. I'm hearing they're going to stack the box. Great. Stack it. If you stack the box, we're going to score 30 points. I'm just telling you. I'm not predicting 30. But some of the facts that I wrote down. McCarthy and the Cowboys are 12-2 coming off a loss the last 3 years. No, that's number one in the league, tied with the Bills.
Yep.
I repeat, they're 12-2 following a loss over a 3-year period. and that's number one in the league. Um, you know, I just like it. I think this is going to be a very, very close game. I think this is a game where Dak has 22 fourth quarter game winning drives in his career. The mailbox has the final though. I've been on the wrong side. I mean, last week, just I was a wimp in game one. It's so hard to predict week one. But who the hell saw last week going like that? I could see losing, but I did not see that.
I thought if we were
Dallas
going to lose like
one,
that, it'd be like 42 to 35. It was, we didn't push at the end, but. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not calling Dallas for a blowout. I'm just not.
You're good.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's final mind. Anyway, I got so the line is Cowboys +1 and over/under is 47.5. I got Dallas coming back. Brandon Albright kicking the game as time expires. Dallas 24, Ravens 23.
I like it.
Cowboys +1 under the 4. Now I said I thought Dallas was losing, but after search, seeing what was going on from week 1 to week 2, I expect them to go back to some of the week 1 stuff.
Yeah. And that's
Baltimore.
I've been doing that in my picks. Is just going with what my gut feeling was in the beginning. I see a lot of stuff that I like during the week that makes me start liking the matchups that we have, and that's the reason why I kind of wanted to bring the segment of why we win, why we lose, because I definitely, even when I'm picking against them, I know the recipe that's going to take for this team to win, and I know that they can execute it. So at least I have that faith in this team, is that if they don't play well one week, it's a different week the next following. Rhonda, thank you very much. Thank you. Hold on.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Sonic Boom!
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that score. I like that score. Close game. You find a way to win it in the end, especially Audrey. Audrey. He probably gonna hit a 70-yard field goal to win it at the end there.
It might take it.
It might take it. It might take a career, a record-setting field goal to do it. But if that's what it takes, I'm all for it. It's just kind of scary when you're sitting there at the end and you need that, especially when they start trying to ice kickers and all that. But I do at least have faith in this kicker that he has a chance of doing it, even though nothing's guaranteed in this NFL, especially how week 1 went. Week 2 is a different feeling. Now, what part of the roller coaster are we on? Is it going to be a little spinning circle one where we just enjoy that little excitement, or is it going to be a plummeting one? That's going to be an interesting, it's still very, very early in the season. But Brian, man, we're already into it, man. This season, we got opinions about these guys. We, Cowboy fans, there's some of them already ready to give up on this Deuce Vaughn experiments. So
he hasn't had any opportunities. I mean, I don't know how anybody can be mad at Deuce. Deuce hasn't had any real run. That's what I don't like about it. Real quick, I don't like the play calling, Phil. I don't like how there's no rhythm to the running game. So, you know how it is. You need to run the damn ball.
What's up, Coyote? How's it going, man? He goes, "Hey, big guy, let me hold $1. Let me hold $1. You got about? I need about $250. I need about $250." So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. As I bring you more, you like these graphics here? I told it to put a cowboy player, flying on a raven, but this is kind of the thing that I threw out, and here we are. So let's see how this thing folds up. You're going to be doing a broadcast tomorrow. How are you going to do on your channel? I'm going to
stream the Eagle game.
You'll stream the Eagle
game. And then
I'm
going to come back after the game, and we'll do a post game.
All right. And then the following on that Monday, we're going to be doing a game thing before, probably at 7 o'clock, right? Are you going to do the Monday night game?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, if that's cool. Yeah.
I just want to kind of figure it out, just for
the time being, we'll do that 7 o'clock on Mondays. We'll do the recap show, and we'll roll right into the Monday night game.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, man. You've definitely been doing your thing. And check out Chris May. He has a gaming channel on his. So, I mean, I don't know if you were able to check that one out.
I was
so
there
he's getting
last night,
started and everything. So I saw it pop up on my feed. And so I was like, oh, let me give this a shot. So I definitely give him some support there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he used to have a channel, and then he said he lost it or something. But yes, definitely looking forward to it.
All right, Game Time. Anything you want to say to the folks before we get out of here?
No, just I have a premiere later on that I recorded.
Oh yeah,
check it out at 10 o'clock. Just check it out. It's about a half hour.
I got a new exit as well. It's just really quick as well, but I put a new closing video together.
Very cool.
But anyways, I'll check it out as well.
Be sure to check it out.
Definitely. We'll check it out on your channel, and Brian, we'll see you on yours tomorrow as well as you do the live game. But guys, I appreciate you coming through. Tell us what your picks are. Talk trash if you want. Let us know why Dallas is going to go on a roll and only win 5 games. If you definitely want to do that. But anyways, one thing I appreciate you not forgetting to do is doing what?
Always ring that bell, everybody.
Always ring that bell. You guys take care.
Hey, all right, good job, guys. Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day.
Talking prime rib in bed. I'm using a blanket as a napkin. That's fancy. That's fancy.
Real fancy.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I think we handled that with dignity.
Free candy!
Johnny loves Chachi.